Hello again, my friends. This is welcome to the first boss prediction video of this new year, 2016. Unfortunately, there aren't so many fights worth talking about this time, this week or the next week. So we just gonna focus on the most uh, the most important ones. And the first fight I would like to talk about is between it's Matt Korobo who is returning after losing his last fight to Andy Lee by knockout, as most of you already know. And that was in fact, that fight was a year ago, so he hasn't fought at all last year, which may not be a problem for him in this fight. I don't think it may be a big problem because the guy he's facing is a journeyman who has a 14-8-1 record. But this guy is called Josue from Mexico, and he has never been stopped despite losing 8 fights. So I think most likely this fight will go to the scorecards, um, as I also have picked Korobov, of course, to win by a unanimous decision. It's a 10-round fight also, which makes it's an 8-round fight in fact, which makes it even harder for Korobov to win by knockout. I think it's possible, but I met Korobov is or Matvey Korobov is not really that kind of knockout artist type. He can he can punch, and he has knocked out Ozzy Duran, who was never knocked out in his many fights previously. So, but I doubt that now after 13 months layoff that he should do such a thing. He's obviously rusty, and the fact that it's an 8 rounder, it shows that he doesn't think he is ready right now for a 10 rounder or a 12 rounder. So, and yeah, the fight is in something called the Bomb Factory in Dallas, Texas. So, and Orlando has fought of the more famous in his last fight. Only this December he lost to Hugo Centeno Jr. by UD10, and Centeno is an undefeated super middleweight actually, but he has also fought as a middleweight and a super welterweight. So yeah, it may happen that Korobo scores a knockout because Centeno himself is not a puncher. So, and anyway, Orlando managed to win at least 2 rounds he got on one scorecard. So, and 3 and 4 on the other. So I think it will go to the scorecards. And the next fight that I want to talk about is between one of my favorite heavyweights today. Is also an 8th rounder between Andy Ruiz Jr. and Danny Batchelder. And Danny Batchelder has been around for a while. He has 11 losses and 31 wins with 1 draw, while Andy Ruiz is currently undefeated, 26-0. And Danny Bachelor has been stopped before, so I mean, I picked Andy Ruiz to win by a 5th round knockout. Yeah, I don't think there's so much more to say about it. In his last fight, Bachelor was stopped by TKO 7 by a fighter that only had 7 wins and 10 losses. So it's clear that this will be an easy night. Perhaps the knockout may come even sooner, but according to reports, Ruiz hasn't really looked that great in his last few fights. He always struggles with the weight, but he will win by knockout. Because if he doesn't, then it's the sign that he really isn't what he. I mean, he isn't a legit contender. For instance, Pulev, he stopped Bachelor in 2 rounds in 2010 already. Yes. And now we move on to the 3 main fights, star fights. First we got David Haymakers making his comeback after how many years? Let's see, it must be at least 2.5 years or something since his last fight with Derek Chisora. No, it's actually 3 years, 3.5 years. Oh wow! And he's taking on an unknown opponent who's called Mark De Mori. He's actually he lives in Split, Croatia, but he was born in Perth in Western Australia, and he is a little shorter than David Hay. He's 6'2", 33 years, 2 years younger than Hay, and he's got a record of 30 wins with 26 knockouts and 1 defeat by knockout. It was early in his career to some unknown guy in Australia. It was already 2004. He has 2 draws, and the most famous fighter he has fought, well, it's Damon Reed. He beat on TKO 5, and Rob Calloway, who was very old at the point, by TKO 4, and also a few other minor names. So I think this will be rather short work for Hay, despite the fact that he is been away from the ring for 3 years, but he still has the punching power, and he will surely come to fight in good shape. As we have seen, he is training hard. So I think he will end this fight in 3 rounds, or something like that. It'll take him a couple rounds at least, couple to get to to start landing the big bombs and stuff, penetrating the defense of the Morning. So okay, so and then the next fight, it's probably the biggest. It's between Deontay Wilder and Arthur Szpilka. So that fight, it's obvious who is the favorite to win, because Szpilka has already been stopped by Bryant Jennings, and the most famous man he beat was Thomas Adaman, but he was already on the slide. So um, I think Szpilka is tough. He was stopped in the 10th round by Jennings. So I think he will last a few rounds before he eventually succumbs to Wilder's power. And Wilder is not, that fast. So I think he will go at least 8 rounds. So my pick is an 8 round knockout for Wilder. And then the next and the last fight is between Charles Martin, this new American contender, and Vyacheslav Glaskov, who has disappointed in his last fights against Cunningham, and yeah, he's not what he appeared to be in the start, and even though he still has the boxing ability and everything, but yeah, he was kind of, I don't know. He's also struggled some against Derek Ross. He was just a very average uh, contender. I mean, journeyman, and he also drew against Maly Scott. So, but Charles Martin is relatively untested. On the other hand, he's knocked out guys like Kurtzon, Manswell, Rafael Zumban, all over. So it's not really elite type opponents that he has faced so far. So we don't know how he will cope with Glasgow's boxing ability. And, I think once unless he is not, he's able to land a big punch and knock out Glasgow, I think Glasgow will win by 1 points, and that is my pick. Glasgow to win by a majority decision, because I think it will be a close fight. I don't know much about this guy, Charles Martin, but he is very big. He's 6'5", and Glasgow is 6'3", so um, he has the physical, the natural advantage, and the power advantage also. Glasgow, he can bang a bit, but he's not just this thunderous concussive puncher like Martin appears to be. He has 20 knockouts in 22 wins, Charles Martin, while Glasgow he has 13 knockouts in 21 wins. So it's not exactly a big puncher's record. So he's more like he wears his opponents out when he stops them usually. So that was all for now. So I hope you will enjoy this video, and once again a very good year for me. See ya.